Be sure to order your copy of the Go-Go Offense by Coach Brennan Marion on footballgameplan.com/GoGoOffense. Coach Marion goes through the ins and outs of his explosive offense, one that's tearing up the college football field and putting a lot of points on the scoreboard. Again, you can order your copy at footballgameplan.com/GoGoOffense. Don't forget to order your copy of our 2020 NFL Draft Prospect Guide. You can find that on our website at footballgameplan.com/2020 draft guide. You'll get full scouting reports on over 650 prospects for this upcoming draft class. Welcome to Football Game Plan, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our Jacksonville Jaguars 7-round mock draft video. And before we get started, let's take a look at the mock draft rules. It's hard to imagine where the Jacksonville Jaguars were 3 seasons ago to where they are now. They're in the midst of a retooling of the roster, and they have done a solid job so far in free agency, taking away a few of the needs come draft time. One of the major moves was franchise tagging defensive end Yannick Ngakoue and keeping him in the fold. I also love the signing of linebacker Joe Schobert from the Cleveland Browns. Schobert has a good all-around game and always seems to be around the football. Jacksonville also owns 12 picks in this year's draft, more than enough opportunities to turn this roster around. With the first of 2 picks in round 1, I added cornerback AJ Terrell out of Clemson. I like his game. He plays with great balance, and his eyes, hips, hands, and feet are always in unison. He would be an instant day 1 starter at corner. Getting more explosive at wide receiver with the super talented and elusive Jeudy out of Alabama. He has the type of game that can take a short pass a very long way. And with the way this mock draft fell for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Justin Herbert was still there in round 2, and it makes sense for the Jags to continue to strengthen their quarterback room, allowing he, Gardner Minshew, and also Josh Dobbs to get out there and compete, keeping each other sharp in the process. I went back to the secondary in round 3 with cornerback Jeff Gladney of TCU. The Jags have to rebuild that secondary as it was once the most feared group in the NFL. Another benefit for how this mock draft fell for Jacksonville was in the 4th round, with the selection of Clavon Chasen out of LSU. I'm not as high on him as most, but as a situational rusher, I like the fit here in Jacksonville. Robert Hunt out of the University of Louisiana would provide good depth at offensive tackle. I like his athleticism and his ability in the run game. And with their 3rd, 4th round pick, I added depth along the defensive line with defensive end Jonathan Garvin out of Miami. I think he would be a solid rotational piece up front when he hits the NFL. Anthony McFarland Jr. out of Maryland would add explosiveness to the backfield. He's a guy that doesn't need volume to make an impact in the run game and would also be an immediate impact player on special teams in the return game. I'm a big fan of LaMichael Petway's game out of Iowa State. He does a great job in contested catch situations and isn't afraid to play the physical game. Adding more depth at tight end with Noah Togai out of Oregon State. I know they just signed Tyler Eifert, but he hasn't proved to be dependable from a health perspective recently, and there's no downside to adding some more insurance at the position, especially when you have 12 picks. Aaron Parker out of Rhode Island has tremendous hand-eye coordination and does a great job working himself open. He's the 3rd receiver I added in this mock draft, so clearly I feel like Jacksonville could use some juice at the position. And finally, Michael Divinity out of LSU gives Jacksonville another rotational depth piece at the 2nd level, while also bolstering the special teams unit in the process. So that's it for our Jacksonville Jaguars 7-round mock draft video. Be sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts, and don't forget to check out and subscribe to the Football Game Plan Network located at youtube.com/footballgameplan. Also subscribe on iTunes to Football Game Plan Podcast and leave us a 5-star rating, and pick up a copy of our Football Game Plan 2020 NFL Draft Guide. You can find that at footballgameplan.com/2020 draft guide. And don't forget to check out every Thursday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Game Plus Network, our Scout Team TV show. Again, check with your cable provider for channel listings.